Okay.
Do not fall.
Make sure everybody's in there. Okay. Okay, good. Very nice. Okay, guys, I need you to refocus. Jocelyn, you can maybe scoot out just a little bit. Out, scoot out, not in. Scoot out, not in. Get in here a little bit more. Okay, we're good. I can see everybody's faces. Okay, well, this is as good as it's gonna get, I think.
Should I film it?
Yeah, that would be a great idea.
Yeah, now somebody can finally see me.
Do you turn it twice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay,
That's
well,
better.
okay, great.
Who's Shadow? Oh no, that's Kayla's hair. You're like, who's Shadow? Oh no, that's Kayla.
Okay, can you scoot back a little bit? Can you scoot back just a little bit too? Okay, good. We're kind of in an inner circle here. Okay. So, who can tell me what resilience is? Jocelyn, you got to first.
Resilience means to bounce back from something.
Bounce back from something?
Yeah.
Okay, and who else? Do you have another definition for it?
If you get stuck on something, and if you're taking a test, and if you have a period amount of time, you can redo it and say, oh, that's not right, and then so you can
Do it again. Do it again. I like it. What about you?
You don't let things get in your way. You
Very nice.
you
I love
avenge
that.
yourself.
Yep. Very good. I love it. Okay. And why is it important to be resilient? Who cares that if you're resilient or not? What does it matter? Go ahead.
It doesn't really matter because some people don't do it and some people think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be two different things. It depends on what you're gonna do.
Okay.
Like if you want to bounce back or if you don't want to bounce back.
Okay. And why is it important though? Why is it important that you do bounce back or that you learn to bounce back?
So why it's really important to bounce back is because if you it's really important to bounce back because you can redo it and you can get the answer right or something.
That's
Very good. Okay. What about you, Kayla? What do you think? Why is it important to bounce back and be resilient?
Because then it helps you understand some things, like when you're taking a test or something.
Yeah.
It helps you understand it better.
Yeah, it helps you not quit. That's the most important thing. You don't quit. You only lose when you stop trying, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was your homework? Who remembers what their homework was that I gave them last Wednesday? Go ahead, Kayla.
You told us to think of something that was very hard for us. That was
Yeah, like a difficult situation or something that you had to go through, or it could be like having difficulties with a friend, or maybe having a hard time in a class, or with a teacher, or with one of your siblings, or maybe losing a pet, or losing, your doggy, or, something difficult that's happened in your life, and then what you said to yourself immediately after, and how did you solve it if this was really a problem? Okay, so who wants to go first?
I have 3.
Go ahead, give us one.
My mom and my dad's grandma got in a fight because my grandma was saying bad things about kind of.
Okay, so let's kind of so let's just leave it at that. They got into a fight. So 2 of your family members got into a fight, and how did that make you feel?
I felt sad because every time my mom said we're not going to make cookies, and then that made me remember about my grandma because she always used to make cookies with us. We always used to bake stuff.
What did you choose to do?
I choose to just tell my mom, and I sat down and said, why can't we see her?
Okay. What did you how did you treat your grandma, or did you decide in your mind, you know what, I don't care what's going on, I'm gonna still call her, I'm gonna see. What did you choose to do about the grandma situation?
I choose to just call her and talk to her just like that, and just to see her.
Okay, very good. Did you feel like you had anything to do with this fight at all or anything like that?
Yeah, kind of, because my grandma was talking about us.
Oh.
Because my mom thought she wasn't like
Let's let her
helping,
finish.
like that she was watching us and doing fun stuff, but not like treating us well.
Oh, it's a bummer. Okay. But do you choose to believe like the best about your grandma? Do you still want to go see her and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead, Kayla. What was your difficult situation?
I like my basketball and soccer because I had earrings that were like silver, like grayish, and when we would take them out, it would start bleeding because it was infected.
Oh.
So it was kind of hard for me because they would always hurt, and it did not feel good.
Yeah. How were you resilient in this situation?
Well,
How did you bounce back? What did you do to fix it and make it better?
we switched to getting gold earrings because that helped better and it wouldn't bleed anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So
Did you stop wearing earrings because of it? Did you say, oh, I'm never going to wear earrings?
I still wanted to wear earrings because I thought that I just liked them.
Okay. So it didn't stop you. Even though they bled, you decided, you know what? We're going to find earrings that don't hurt my ears, right? And we're just going to make a few changes. We're going to take action, and but I still want to wear my earrings. So you bounce back because you're still wearing earrings. You just found a different type, which is really good. Jocelyn, how about you? What was a difficult situation? And it could be a situation that you're going through right now. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be in the past.
Matter of fact, it
It
is.
is? Okay. So tell us about your difficult situation.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
I know too.
Was
that Zoe? Yeah.
The fight. Okay, this is a good one.
So we were just playing basketball, and then she switched over to the boys' team because she wanted to get back at me for kicking her off the team, but I didn't do it. Everybody voted that we should have because she kept on talking to the boys, and I just told everybody to ignore it because they were just trying to get in our way. And they're trying to annoy us, so I just said ignore them. And she was over there talking to them, and she wasn't
telling them what we were doing.
Okay.
No, and I told her to just ignore them. And then she gets mad and she's like,
So you have a friend who maybe isn't as friendly. So how are you going to bounce back from this?
well,
How are you going to be resilient in this situation?
well, I don't really know.
What do you guys think? What can Jocelyn do to be resilient in this situation?
I think she should try to be as nice as she can to her.
Very
Try to
nice.
help her.
Okay. Kayla, what do you think?
I
Jocelyn
think
should
she should, like, if Zoe does anything mean to her or it hurts her feelings, if she says stop and Zoe doesn't stop, then she should go get a teacher or an adult to help her.
do? Okay. What do you think she should do?
I think if Zoe's being mean to Jocelyn, Jocelyn should say, please stop, and if that doesn't work, go tell the teacher, and if that doesn't work, go tell the principal, and if that doesn't work, go talk with your mom, which would probably work, but if that doesn't work, then talk to their mom and dad.
Also, I think
That's
she
what I
should
learned.
stand up for herself if she's still being mean to her.
Okay.
I think they should have a talk,
A
like
talk.
with the people with the group,
Mhm.
and they have both groups come, and then we should say what we're feeling, and then that will help them understand more.
Mhm.
So-
How about well, that's a really good idea actually, and maybe
Face-to-face with her.
having to like your girlfriends together, like you could be there and another friend, and so everybody's there together and sit down like you're sitting right now.
Basketball team. And
No,
make friends
no,
with
just you have a problem with her, maybe you and like the closest friends.
her.
You sit down like you're sitting right now. You sit down like that, and maybe you guys can talk about some of the issues and how it makes you feel. And we
Here's the
shouldn't.
worst part. The boys are gonna come and they're gonna be like, "Hey, what's going on?" And then they're gonna go away.
They always follow us.
Is it possible? Is it possible to maybe go to the bathroom and get some privacy away from the boys?
Ew, it stinks in there.
Well, do you want solutions or do you want?
We
keep
we-
on,
well,
or
we-
keep at odds with a friend.
We went into the girls' bathroom
And
and
then they were just waiting outside.
It doesn't matter, but it gives you some privacy. It doesn't. You don't have to go
And you
into a
can talk
stall,
over.
but you can still. You don't have to sit down on the floor, obviously, but you guys can just sit down. And you know what's a good idea too is holding hands when you're talking, because it's really hard to be mad at somebody when you're doing this. When you're like, you know what, I really want to be good friends with you, but like there's some things that are happening that really hurt my feelings.
So here's the thing.
It's so hard to be mad at somebody, when you're holding their hands.
But Mom,
So maybe you guys, that's an
she
idea.
won't even listen to anything I say.
Like
that's when
Frankie
you guys
said,
will
she'll
be
just
sitting down and
Maybe she will if you go privately,
No,
separately.
here's the thing. What if I try to ask her and she doesn't ask and she doesn't respond?
like Frankie
But
said.
she's just
Well,
like,
that's her choice, and you have to respect her choice. Sorry, go ahead. Let's
Like
get
Frankie
Kayla.
said when she said to be nicer to her,
Mhm.
I think Jocelyn could maybe, like Jocelyn and her friends could invite them, like invite invite Zoe to go sit with them.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Zoe might understand that she's being a lot more nicer, that
That's
Jocelyn's being a lot nicer.
Well, that would totally shock her if you were like if you made her a bracelet or something, and that might kind of warm her heart a little bit, and then maybe you guys can go in the bathroom and have a chat during recess.
Or even you
You
can,
can start there and then take it from there.
and
Okay.
see if that's okay.
All right. We'll go.
Wait,
That's- oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead. What's your difficult situation, and how are you resilient?
I have 3.
Okay, let's do one. You're the worst one. Because those are the hardest ones to get over. Or an easy one, whatever you want. Just choose
Losing my
one.
guinea pig. One day when I woke up in the morning, my mom had some terrible news for me, and I was only like 6 years old. And she was like, our guinea pig was named Scampers. Scampers was like really sick, so we had to put him down.
Did you take him to the vet?
No.
Okay, so you took it. So you lost your little guinea pig, and what did you say to yourself?
I said that
Like when
you'll
he was
see him in heaven again
Mhm.
because he will be there because he was a really nice guinea pig.
Nice. Did you ever say to yourself, "I don't want another guinea pig ever"? Did you say
I
that
wanted
at all?
another guinea pig.
You're like, I want another one. See, that's being resilient. So in other words, just because I lost my guinea pig, it doesn't mean, they die. Everything that's alive is gonna die one day.
Like us.
So it's gonna happen.
Absolutely. Go away. You said everything. Oh, I lied.
Everything that's alive is gonna die. So so she didn't say, I'm never gonna have another guinea pig because they die, and then leave it there. She was resilient, and she said, we can get another. We'll see him in heaven. That's really positive. We're gonna see him in heaven, and we're gonna get another guinea pig, and I'm gonna love him just
Even
the
though
same.
He ate his own poop, which is weird. He was a really nice guinea pig.
Animals or dogs do that too.
Yeah.
Cats do that too. Gross.
You're
Yeah.
gonna make me cry soon, Frankie.
I know. Okay, so let's let Mackenzie.
two things.
Sure.
To pick both.
Do you want to do one that you're comfortable with? It doesn't have to be like, just do whatever you want.
Well, the other one was a human, but now it's gonna be about an animal. When I lost my dog Deuce.
It's okay if you cry. I almost cried too.
Me too.
I almost cried.
When I lost my dog Deuce, he was like my best friend, and I cried because he was like my best friend, my soulmate, and he was really nice to everyone he saw. He just came up to them.
He's just a really good doggy.
Yeah, and then once Mom came in with the groceries, she said, it's time to put Deuce down. And I'm like, Mom, no. And everyone started to cry. But I really didn't want to cry, but then...
Same as my guinea pig. My sister's bearded dragon.
It's hard to
Alright, okay,
lose
what
stuff
before-
that you love.
Before we move on, so how would you resilient? So you lost your doggy, and then how did you bounce back?
Well, we got Tank, but Deuce was still alive. Tank was similar to Deuce, got another dog, and we put Deuce down like a couple days before we got, a couple days after Tank came. But we loved Deuce, and now we have another dog who's awesome, very playful, but he's 2 years old and he still acts like a puppy.
So you were. How was she resilient? How do you?
She said, I will work this out by getting another dog
Yep.
and putting them together
That's right.
so they could be friends.
That's
so they can meet up and be friends when they're in heaven.
That's right. So what that tells us about resilience is that we have to be good problem solvers. Jocelyn has an issue with one of the friends.
Zoe.
So now you're not going to mention her. So she needs to put on her problem solver hat and see, what can I do to make this better, instead of sitting there and complaining about it, right? She said, well, I'm losing my doggy. How can I make this better? What can I do to make the best out of this situation, even though it's a bad thing, I'm losing my doggy. You have to be tough, and you have to be like, we're going to get another doggy. And the same with you. And the same with you. Like, what can I do? What can I do about, but you were willing, like you were open and willing to love another little guinea pig. And having a family issue is really difficult because you love everybody and now they're not getting along, and it's like, I'm going to choose to love her anyway and call her. So we have to take action in order to be resilient. Is
I
that
have
correct?
another one when my grandma passed away.
Oh, yeah, that's tough.
Grandpa.
And her name was Sue, and her name was Sue, and on our paper when we were doing the thing, it said Sue had this much cookies, so I almost felt like breaking down, but I didn't.
Our great grandpa died.
I'm sure we've all experienced loss.
Yes.
We have too. Go ahead, Kayla.
Could it be about a friend?
Of course, yeah.
Because my friend, we're like best friends, and she lives kind of close, but I only see her like once a month, so it's hard to say goodbye to her, and I cry sometimes because I've known her since preschool.
Wait,
But
is
you're
it
still
Meadow?
willing to hang out regardless, right? Okay, let's move on, girls. So the thing is that bad things happen to everybody, right? And when bad things happen, it just gives us information. It's a fact. Oh, my doggy died. Oh, my parent or my family members aren't getting along. Oh, it's just a fact. It's information. So how we translate that information into our thoughts and what we say is what really is important. So the main lesson for today is the most important thing is what you say to yourself right after a bad thing happens. Okay? And you have a say so in that. So last week we talked about Bethany Hamilton. You guys remember that? Remember her? She was the girl she was 13 years old. She goes into the water surfing, and
And a shark got her arm.
yeah,
She didn't
a
know
shark.
that
She had a shark attack.
It was
and,
only for like a few seconds.
and it bit off her arm, and it changed her life forever.
Like 1 minute.
But she
Okay.
still goes surfing.
So some of the things that she said to I was looking at some footage of some of her interviews and stuff like that, and she said, put your hand up for a second, honey. She said to her, she was fearful and she was nervous about what would happen next in her life. She thought she would never surf again. She had a dream to become a professional surfer, and she thought, oh my goodness, my dream is dead. I'm never going to be able to get there because of my arm. Just a second. She thought she might have to just switch to another sport altogether. And this was surfing was like her most favorite thing in the whole wide world. And she thought, oh no, I'm going to lose this forever. But she took action. You guys remember we were talking about action?
Yes.
She took action, and you know what she had to do? She had to relearn how to surf.
Yeah.
With only one arm.
Because she only had one arm, and she had
It
to
was
do.
difficult.
You guys know what accommodations are?
Nope.
Who knows what that is? She had to make accommodations, which means she had to change some things in her life to make it easier for her to surf. So she got her board. You have her surfboard?
Yeah.
It had to be, she had a special made one that was like really, it was a lot longer.
Yeah, and then she had a handle, which she can duck dive.
Exactly. So she probably added a handle to it. She did some certain things to it, and she practiced until she got really good at surfing again. And you guys know it only took her 3 weeks, and she was back in the water. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Now,
Especially with the
were there still sharks in the water?
Yes, but she wasn't afraid of that.
She still wasn't afraid of them. Isn't that amazing? What would you call that? When you're afraid to do something, but you do it anyway.
You're fearless.
Fearless. That's another word. Brave. That's a great word.
resilient.
Resilient. Absolutely. What do you think?
Strong.
Strong. I think courageous is a good word. She was really courageous. Will she always be a little bit scared, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah. You can be a little bit scared and still continue to do what you
Like
need to
me.
do. Yeah. She says that she still struggles. She still struggles at times because, she doesn't have an arm. So she always has to be constantly changing. All right. So what are some positive things that happened in her life? Think about her life. What are some positive things that happened as a result of the shark attack? Go ahead.
There was this girl who won, and she was a mean girl before.
Mm-hmm.
But then she asked Bethany to come up on the stage with her and hold up the trophy with her.
Oh, very nice. So she's inspiring other people. What do you think? What are some good things that happen out of this? Okay, why don't you collect your thoughts for a second? Go ahead.
The good things that happened was that she actually bounced back
Mm-hmm.
and she thought about it and then she tried and 3 weeks later she got it and she was on
Very
like
good.
one of the tops again.
That's all right. What do you think? What are some good things that happen out of this?
The good things were that, well, at first she was struggling, but she had to keep on practicing, and in 3 weeks she got up with like the wake.
Yeah.
Well, like not with the wake, but like with the wave, and she did it.
Yeah. Well, I think one of some of the best things that happened out of this was she wrote a book. She's got a movie about her life.
I love that movie.
She travels all over the world talking to young women. We're talking about her right now because she's such an inspiration, right? So can good things happen out of bad things?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, huh? Very nice.
Like odd numbers can turn into even numbers. Am I right?
Yeah.
And 50 can turn into 30. That's what. Oh yeah, that is an even number.
Yeah.
And 5 plus 5 can turn into 10. And three
So
plus three
she
can turn
shows
into
us, guys, she shows us that good things can happen out of bad things. And if we remain positive and we have a good attitude and we become good problem solvers, we can do things better. Okay, right now I'm going to have you guys do a little activity. And this is going to be mean girl versus kind girl. Okay? Has anybody ever said something
That's what I was
mean?
going to ask you about.
Okay, let's sit down for a second. I want to guide you guys through this. Has anybody ever said something mean to somebody else?
I have.
Or been mean to your brother, your sister, or anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody's has a propensity to be mean, right?
Be a boy. Too.
Okay.
Of course it can be a boy.
You're like, can it be a boy?
So we can all be a little bit mean sometimes. Here's the big question. Do you say mean things to yourself sometimes when you make
Yes.
mistakes? Okay. So you have that. So inside of us, I think we all have like a mean girl on one side,
And a nice
and we
girl.
have a kind girl on one
This
side.
one's bigger though.
Okay. And that's what we're going to try to figure out today is like, are you paying attention to how mean you are to yourself? Are you paying attention to how kind you are to yourself? And if you are mean, we want you to stop doing that. And if you are mean, we want you to make your kind girl super strong, okay? And squash that mean girl because mean girls are nice, okay? So when I was in I'm going to share a story with you. When I was in 3rd grade, I had a really hard time reading. I had a really hard time, and they had there was a special A that would come into the classroom, and she would pull me away from all the other kids, and I felt really bad about that. And she'd pull me aside, and I'd have to do like certain exercises and stuff like that because I was a slow reader.
Because you struggle.
Because I struggled. And what are some of the mean things you guys think I said to myself? They were really, now I'm looking back, they were mean. What are some mean things that I said to myself, you think?
I'm dumb.
Yeah, what else?
I can't do this.
Yeah, what else?
I'm not smart.
No, it's good. What else?
I'm not like the other kids.
That's right. How about you?
I don't think that I'm smart enough to know how to read or do anything.
That's right. Go ahead.
That you feel differently.
You feel different, yeah. And nobody likes to feel different. No, but you guys don't like to feel different from
I
your
hate
friends,
to
do you?
feel different.
Exactly. Everybody wants to fit in. Everybody wants to be okay. What are you gonna say?
You feel outnumbered.
You feel outnumbered, right? And sometimes, and I did, and I really felt that way. And I was at a school where there wasn't a lot of people like me. Like I'm Mexican, and there wasn't a lot of Mexican. There were actually I was like the only one. There was not a lot of Mexican kids, so I already felt a little strange because I had a different color than they did. Because you know what I mean. And I came to find out that it's not that I couldn't read, but it was that I never read at home. So it's really important to. I didn't read at home. Nobody read to me. We didn't have books at my house. So of course I was going to be a slow reader. Okay. But instead of thinking that way, that's a kind way of thinking. I thought my mean girl inside of me was telling me, you're dumb. You're like not like the other kids. No one's going to like you. Look at the things that you do. You know what I'm saying? So that's what was going on with me. So that's a really good example. Now here's a big question. So back to Hamilton. She says that some of the things that made her the strongest and really helped her and encouraged her was her strong faith in God, was the support of her friends and family. So having good relationships is really important to being resilient. She chose to think good thoughts, and she must have been kind to herself. She must have said good things to herself. Okay? And now you guys know what? She has at least one championship. And she serves with the best of them, okay? All right, so right now we're going to do an activity. And I'm going to give you a scenario, and I'm going to break you guys into groups. So you can be on that. You guys are going to be the kind girls, and we're going to be the mean girls.
No!
Okay, so...
I miss you!
Okay. All right, let's settle up.
I miss you.
Okay, so here's a scenario, and I want you guys to... stay right where you are. Okay.
Hi, what's up?
And here's, you're going to have a piece of paper.
Okay.
All right, so here's a scenario, and then I'll give you guys something to write with. Okay. So, oh, I forgot the girl. Sorry about that. Okay, so I have this board right here. And this girl right here, her name is Nicole. Let's get her right here.
Who's Nicole?
This girl right here, do you see her?
I know a girl named Nicole.
So this is Nicole, and Nicole is in 4th grade. She has a learning disability.
Can't see it.
She has a learning disability, and she has a very hard time understanding what the teacher is saying, like on a daily basis, okay? She feels that all the other kids get it, but she doesn't, and her grades are beginning to look really bad. Some of the kids have made fun of her and continuously tease her. She feels embarrassed about all this and has decided that it may be better to just be by herself all the time. So she'll sit by herself during lunchtime and recess. Okay. So let's put we'll do that one later. Okay. So the mean team, I want you guys to think of some things that the mean girl inside of her head would be telling her. And the kind girls, I want you guys to write down some kind things that the kind girl inside of her head should be telling her, okay? So everybody grab a pencil, take a pencil, pass it down. And here's a piece of paper. Grab a piece of paper, pass it down. Just grab one and pass it.
Okay.
Just take one, pass. If you need more, you can just leave the pile in the center there. If you need to write more things, if you can think of more, do it. And there's tape up here, so as soon as you're done, you can come and put it on your side, okay? And this is what our board looks like. There's our board with our Nicole at the top. Okay, you have to be as a group. You gotta consult with your group too.
Well, then we gotta consult. We gotta consult with Brian.
Oh yeah.
So think of as many things as you can, and then you guys are gonna choose what you would want. Think of maybe 2 things, and then maybe share them amongst yourself, and then, because what if they're the same thing?
Very enough you can do it. If you know you need to.
Okay, as soon as you're in agreement, you guys can come and, if you're a kind girl, put it on the kind side. If you're a mean girl, put it on the mean side.
Which one do you like, Jessie?
I think we're gonna do all of them, right?
What?
Are we gonna do all of them?
No, just, just do, we're kind of running out of time, so that's fine. Let's come and put it up here.
Yeah, let's.
Go ahead and stick it up there. You guys are quick.
Look, it's a cross.
Wait. No, I
My
friend Amanda did that once.
I did.
I don't remember the rest
That's
of the
fine, don't worry
words.
about it.
I can do
Okay.
the whole thing.
All right, guys, so we're going to discuss this really quick, and we're almost done, okay? So the kind girl said, you're very unique, you can do it. That is such an awesome thing to say.
Who said that?
I don't know, it doesn't matter. All right, so that's a kind thing to say to yourself. You got to remember, these are the girls that are inside our head, okay? Another one is, I'll ignore the mean kids. I'll be
Resilient.
resilient. I'll trust myself. Awesome. Trust, I love it because you're saying that I have faith in myself. I know that I'm going to be okay. All right, and this is, don't feel different just because you are who you are. You can do it. Just believe. I love that, Kayla. Kayla, you're writing so beautiful too. Very neat. All right, mean girl time. What is a mean girl saying to her? I'm done because I am not like the other kids. I cannot do this. I am not going to be smart. It's good. You're dumb. No one's going to like you, Nicole. No one's going to be your friend. That's mean, right? That's mean. So you guys have to be, the main point of this is that you guys have to be aware of your mean girl and your kind girl. Oops.
I didn't say about hi.
Okay, you guys can sit back. I think your guys will be in there. You have to be aware of those thoughts that are in your head and do better.
I can't see because Kayla's walking now. I can't
Walking?
see myself.
I'm just like.
Or maybe I can just do this.
It's not hair.
There you go. I think everybody's in there now. Okay.
Come on,
So I have an exercise for you guys to do this week. Okay, don't let that be a distraction. Please don't even look at the camera. Okay? What I want you guys to do, and hopefully your parents are okay with this, I want you to take this bracelet and you're going to keep it. And every time that you guys think a bad thought about yourself,
You're gonna snap it.
if the mean girl comes out, you snap it. You smack that mean girl back into place. Don't do it too hard because it hurts.
That's gonna.
So just a little, the point is for you not to hurt yourself. The point is for you just to get a little ding, like, and it makes you aware of your mean
Where's the
girl.
bees?
Those would be good, but we only have these right now. So whenever a mean girl comes up in your head, what are you going to do?
Snap it.
Snap it.
Snap like an arrow.
Just a little, just so that you can hear a snap. Okay, and if you want, when do we make this? Well, I don't want to make a competition. Tally how many times, and maybe next Wednesday you can say, I didn't really have to use it too much. Or you can tell me I used it a lot more than I thought. And it's just for you to be aware.
You could tally it to make sure how much you did.
Yeah, you can tell at the end of the day, you can say, okay, this is, boom, that's 1. Oh, this is 2. And then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, I I snapped it like 10 times or something.
Oh my
Okay?
gosh.
And that's just to make you aware. So that's going to be your homework assignment. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.
Can we go now?
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.